Do not come. Do not come.
I'm going to come.
I'm not finished.
Oh. Well, Kamala wouldn't have come if she didn't hear I was coming.
Frankly, the president has a lot of common sense. And if you look at some of the imagery that we have received from the Department of Homeland Security and ICE and law enforcement who are on the ground, you will see boxes and boxes of very professionalized masks and rioting equipment being dropped off for these protesters. So it's a good question the president is raising, and one we are looking into, about who is funding these insurrectionists and these rioters and these protesters and these illegal criminals.
I'm just documenting you guys putting all your protest stuff in a van. It's very nice of you. How far did you travel to come to protest today?
That's not really your concern.
Then why do you have like a van full of stuff? People wearing masks.
There's a road here.
Yeah, no.
Roads are great for transporting things and traveling. Look at these people.
Just, I can videotape on a sidewalk, so.
No, I'm going to stop you from videotaping it.
Yeah, I'm not going to interrupt you guys.
I'm just trying to understand.
What is that? What is that there? See, pre-printed protest signs and flyers and literature. How would they have this so soon? Transportation, propaganda, already prepared and set to go.
It's interesting you guys are putting everything in a van, and you're getting really mad about it. That looks really suspicious.
I'm just trying to make sure that you have, all the answers that you.
Are you guys paid?
No.
How much did Soros or Reid Hoffman pay you to come protest Trump today? Come on. Was it good? Did you get paid well?
But these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid troublemakers. They get money. And when you take a look at what they do, where they show up and everyone's saying, what's he doing? He's pounding the curbs. This one guy's pounding the curb, breaking the curb, and handing big pieces of granite. In some cases, it's granite and concrete to other people. And they're running out with it. And then we watch the other people and they try and throw it into the face of the soldiers. They were met with very strong force, the bad people, the bad, sick people that do what they do. But these are paid people in many cases, not in all cases, but in many cases. And they really are. They're agitators.
So we have a question today. Are the protesters paid? If the protesters are paid, who is paying them? I have an answer for you.
But at the end of the day, you're paid for your views. Tucker Carlson is paid for his views. Rachel Maddow is paid for her views, right? You guys are paid the big bucks, right? Is it not then reasonable to say that a protester can't be paid a few $100s to go out to a rally to support a cause that they agree with? So is Tugger sincere when he's getting paid tens of millions and a protester is not sincere when they're getting paid hundreds? I feel like I just question this idea that getting paid money to demonstrate in any way delegitimizes you and your belief.
It is not a good analog, nor is yours, about what I do for a living, because a protest is supposed to be a demonstration of political will from a non-professional. It's not I'm a professional protester. That's what I do. That's what actors are.
So do you believe protesting should just be the purview of the wealthy? What we do at Crowds on Demand is we connect people who are passionate about a cause with compensation to go out in favor of that cause that they are already passionate about. So
are you following this? Let me know in the comments, do you agree? The CEO of Crowds on Demand. So a lot of people today have been talking about paid protesters. I dug a little bit deeper and I found these interviews and I found the CEO of a company called Crowds on Demand, the #1 company in America that pays protesters at political events. But before we go deeper, we might have to go back to the beginning so you can understand who the CEO of Crowds on Demand is, the inception of this company, why and how it was created. Then I'm going to provide to you some conflicting evidence as to what he says this thing is all about. We're answering the question, are the protests, the LA ICE protests / riots, were they planned and have the protesters been paid? I'm going to say that again. What we're looking at right now is the CEO 20 some odd years ago on the UCLA campus. He said he created Crowds on Demand when he was 21. Let's listen to his story of the creation and the idea. You might find it rather puzzling or entertaining.
I came up with the idea for Crowds on Demand when I was actually on vacation in Estonia. And we were about to get off the plane, and I saw that there were some VIPs being greeted with a bunch of fanfare, people, you know, shouting their names, you know, the whole VIP treatment. And I was like, why isn't that available to me? You know, I don't even know who those people are. Why not make a business that lets anyone feel like an A-list celebrity or a politician? As you walk around town or the mall or the airport or wherever.
Why not make a business that makes everybody feel like an A-list celebrity or politician? Paparazzi. Why not make a business where you can hire your own personal paparazzi to garner attention? That's what he says, right? Let's listen.
You know, you're going to have people chanting your name. You're going to have fake reporters yelling questions at you. You're going to have fans following around. You're going to have security guards pushing back everyone because there are going to be a lot more people that want to get a look at this point. You really just will have all the trappings of being a real celebrity. And we work with a crew.
So security guards, cameras, and even fake reporters asking fake questions of politicians. Can I say fake politicians? You tell me. Let's keep going. Crowds on Demand at its inception, a private paparazzi to make you feel special. That's what he's saying.
Of trained actors, photographers, videographers, all of that to give you the impression and give people around you the impression that you're an important celebrity. In Los Angeles in particular, what's happened is there has been a real celebrity that has gone unnoticed because everybody's actually staring at our events. I started
everything that goes along with all the trappings is what he used. The term he used was all the trappings. And he said there's been situations in Los Angeles where real celebrities have gone unnoticed because they're paying attention to his hired fake paparazzi. Crowds on Demand.
Business with money that I had made from investing. I've been investing since I was a little kid. Actually, the first company I ever invested in was at age 5 or 6. It was Southwest Airlines. I like the honey roasted peanuts, and I said any company that has that kind of product must be doing well. My first gig was.
Do you believe this guy? I think it's laughable, right? First of all, it's a celebrity paparazzi company, and he funded it from honey roasted peanuts. Is that what he's saying? Let's keep going. I can't believe that the government just tried to pull over this all over our eyes.
Right here in Beverly Hills, we were trying to make these tourists look like important celebrities. It was very interesting. I was quite nervous, of course. My biggest fear was that people would not buy that it's like a real celebrity. The most interesting gig that I ever did was this giant mock protest, which was more or less a publicity stunt for an advertising company in New York. It was absolutely hilarious. We had guys with big signs. That's something that I never really thought I would be doing. So I thought it was really fun, and I had an absolute blast with it. Well, my major is in political.
So he said one of the largest things he did was a mock protest in New York with fake signs similar to what we're seeing in Los Angeles. Now, he's saying the inception was a paparazzi company. He never intended to be used for protest. He never intended it to be used for politics. But he said one of his biggest to date jobs was a mock protest, not a real. He's framing it as a mock but just stay tuned. Please, I know it's kind of hard to watch the entire video. You got a lot of things to do, but I promise you, I'm going to give you something at the end that you're going to have to listen to.
Science, but I think I give UCLA a lot of credit for encouraging me to really go outside the boundaries of campus and take new opportunities. Because what's great about UCLA is no one's babying you, so you are basically encouraged to take a lot of steps yourself. And what I've found is that in Los Angeles, there's so many opportunities and there's so many ways to really run a business because there's just so much here. For encouraging me to really go outside the boundaries of I never really thought I would be doing. So I thought it was really fun and I had an absolute blast with it. Well, my major is in political science, but I think I give UCLA a lot of credit for encouraging me.
His major is political science, but remember what he said. This is very, very odd, you guys. I mean, he says all the trappings. Well, this has all the trappings of a wonderful conspiracy theory. I mean, don't it sound like a conspiracy theory? I mean, I'm not making it up. Who is this guy? Just come out of the blue, 21 years old, political science major. He creates a company called Crowds on Demand, responsible for some of the worst protests that we've seen in American history, but he didn't create it for that. He created it to be celebrity paparazzi, but at the same time, he's a political science major, and he just admitted to us that his most successful event was a mock protest. Is anybody listening to this? Is this thing on? I told you stay tuned because it's going to be something that you would not be able to miss. Now, let's go to a more recent interview. Let's go into the future. Way back to the future, ladies and gentlemen.
You are the founder of Crowds on Demand, the original paid protesting firm, and one of the country's leading experts on protests, political optics, and influence strategy. He's known for exposing how protests are coordinated, funded, and weaponized across political lines.
Nixon-Kennedy debate of 1960, and I want to get back to that period in certain senses, is Nixon, I think it was, who said, we both want the same thing for our country. We just have different ways to get us. How they do it and how we go about doing those things has been really controversial, and there are definitely a lot of forces on both sides that seek to divide us.
You're the founder. How did this all get started for you?
So sure. So it was 13 years ago. I was in college in Los Angeles. So I'm 34 now. So I founded it as a college student. And
you founded it, you're 34 now, you founded it 13 years ago?
Yeah. So I was 21
Wow.
years old. Yeah. I just got out of being carded. So basically, I worked with a lot of campaigns, mostly on the Democratic side. And the guys who ran those campaigns were figures out of the 60s. So especially at that time, they were people who had kind of emerged in this sort of hippie Vietnam War movement. And these are people.
Did anybody catch that? So we already got the first contradiction. He said he created 13 years ago, and he worked on a lot of political campaigns with people from the 60s. I just played you a video where he said that Crowds on Demand was created because he went on a trip from Astoria and he wanted to feel like a celebrity. He had no reference to politics, even though we know that he was a political science major at UCLA. Let's keep listening. I'm telling you this, we're dropping bombs here today. These are bombs here today. These two interviews do not jive. One interview, Adam is saying that he created this for celebrity paparazzi. Now in 2025, he's a political science major. He always worked on political campaigns, and Crowds on Demand was created. Well, why was it created, Adam?
People who were used to being able to drive huge turnout to events, right? So they'd be like, Adam, I was like the student coordinator for Southern California for a lot of these campaigns. And like, Adam, get us 10,000 students, get us 20,000 students. And I was like, guys, this is actually pretty challenging compared to your time, because students have a lot of competing ways of entertainment. It's not like 1968. So obviously, we didn't normally get that quite to that level of crowds, but even when we turned out
So basically, Adam lied. We just caught Adam in the lie, right? Adam told us that he went on a plane trip to Astoria. He saw a celebrity. He wanted to feel like a celebrity. He created this company. Now, in 2025, speaking to a conservative, he is now saying that he's a political science major from UCLA, and he always worked on political campaigns. And one of his tasks was to gin up the crowd. Can you give me 5,000 students? Can you give me 10,000 students? And this was the inception and the precipice behind the creation of Crowds on Demand, not celebrity paparazzi, as he stated.
a couple hundred people here, 1,000 people there, it made a huge difference, because the same speech made to two people isn't the same made to a really good speech made to two people still just doesn't resonate, you know?
Okay, so how do you get the people? Like, do you have to pay them? Is it like, hey man,
Correct.
free drinks on us? I mean, how do you do this?
So yeah, it's a really good question. So yeah, to just kind of finish that story, it's like basically what we found is that when we were able to more effective even than rallies were protests, right? Because let's just say, let me just give you an example, and then I'll get back to your question, which is that let's just say one candidate is hosting a rally and has 5,000 people there. And I just turn out, say, 20, 30, 40 protesters against them, right? Peaceful protesters, right? Well, the media is going to come and they're going to say candidate X hosted a rally and these protesters protested the person. So I'm getting equal coverage with a small percentage of the number of people.
Brilliant.
Right?
So from the beginning, this was a protest arm, a propaganda arm from a political science major connected deeply to the deep state. He said he was working with political and politicians from the 60s. That means his parents, uncle, or somebody, how he got into UCLA, why he got into political science. He's connected to old money. He's connected to old politics. And from the inception, they placed them in the college campuses because the Democrats wanted to have a sway with the young, new college people. This is how they're getting young people to become Democrats. They created companies like this, individuals, propagandists like this. Admittedly, this is what's going on. Yes, there are paid protests. It's paid propaganda. He just admitted this, paid protest. And what's even more damning about what we just learned is that the political science behind a rally versus a protest, and him understanding from his political science major and tutelage that protests can be more influential, 10 times more influential than a rally. He said the math is you could have 1,000 people at a rally. I could have 10 to 20 people at a protest. And what it does is it sucks all the attention away from the real issue, the real candidate, and the focus now goes to the protest. Wouldn't that behoove you to have more, I don't know, animated protesters? I'm not going to say the V word, but wouldn't it behoove you and your company to have protesters that were very lively? Who would attract the most attention?
Yeah, so that's kind of the idea. So back to what you're saying. So obviously in this case, it was challenging, but I noticed that we were delivering, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in earned media. So earned media for your listeners is basically what you would pay to advertise to get that same exposure, right?
And you have to have just a sliver, a fraction of the people.
Correct. And I've noticed that, and that's really still true today. So the answer is we do call.
So if anybody arguing that this was part of the inception, he said this is still true today. This is still true today. This story is pertaining to the beginnings of Crowds on Demand. He understood as a political science major 13 years ago the power of the protest versus the rally, which is why this company was created as a propaganda wing of the Democratic Party. Let's go! Only Perfect Timing Podcast is breaking this down to you like this. Only Perfect Timing Podcast has broken down to you like this. Now let's go into this term, earned media. So he says let's Google earned media. Earned media is a publicity or exposure as company gains through organic, non-paid means like word of mouth, social media mentions, or media coverage, It is the result of positive buzz or attention generated by others, not through direct paid advertising. Earned media. So this is a multi-fold, multi-purpose, multi-wing propaganda bird. It's not only that you're sucking away attention, it's not only that you're causing a distraction so the American people can't focus on issues. The American people need to focus on the rally and not the protest. The American people should be focused on the rally, the issue, the candidate, the policy, and not the protest. But people like Adam get paid to distract you so that you focus on the protest and not on the actual issue, so you don't know how to vote. And this is how the deep state has been running the country for the past 15 years with this distractionary propaganda. And the issues get conflated and convoluted. And nobody knows how to feel about this, how to feel about that. And I believe that is a design. Let's go and show more of how this manifests. I want to show one more thing. I want to show.
This lady is the same lady I met at the first presidential debate in Atlanta, Georgia. And now from Atlanta to Chicago, it's about a 10-hour long car ride. And for her to be the leader at this protest and also be the leader at the protest in Atlanta makes me wonder if this lady is a paid protester. And she also did the exact same thing in Atlanta where she screamed and yelled and tried to get everybody riled up. And the organization here is actually pretty crazy.
Check this out. Look at the organization here. Look at the infrastructure. So as I said to you, why would you need something like a Crowds on Demand? Think about what you're getting, your bang for your buck, the earned media. How much the earned media is that is worth millions. So when you look at what I'm about to present to you and you say, well, why would somebody spend that much money, Perfect, on a fake protest for the earned media? It's a double-winged propaganda bird, y'all. It's not just the fact that you get the attention away from the issue. It's that you get earned media on a counter issue. It's a great company. It was a great idea. This has to be funded and created by the CIA. I don't know what else and how else to say it, but take a look at what you're seeing right now. What I want to point out to you is what you're seeing is multicolored. I come from a graphic arts and graphic design background. So I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, it costs a little bit of money to produce what we're seeing right here. Each stack is about, I count 20. So we got like 1,000 poster boards here. Look at all of it. We got like 1,000 poster boards here with multiple colors and wood. So we're talking about 1,000 pieces of wood, 1,000 staples, and then someone to do the actual graphic arts and design and print these multicolored poster boards. And this, you guys, is not cheap and it is not done quickly. So this is what I want to point out to you. How is these things being done so quickly? How do you have these multicolored poster boards? Where did you get them from? Who did the graphic? If anybody wondering how to track some of the money, get one of these poster boards and find out who was the graphic artist who designed it and where they were printed. So when you have multicolored poster boards like that, what you need to know is it takes time to print those. Even on the most advanced software, even on the most advanced printing machines, it takes time to do multicolored, multi-layered printing on a different color background. But that's not it. You got 1,000 pieces of wood. You got thousands of staples. So this is a process that involves a lot of employees, a lot of design. This is why you need companies like Crowds on Demand, because of this infrastructure that goes along with the fake protests. I'm breaking it all down today. So a lot of people have been talking about this, but they're not giving you the background, not giving you the company, not giving you Adam, CEO of Crowds on Demand, not giving you what and how the money is being spent on transportation, on signs, on water, on people.
Worth of signs and equipment for any protester that shows up here so they can be a part of the movement.
That is insane. That is insane.
It's actually pretty crazy. They got thousands of dollars worth of signs and equipment for any protester that shows up here.
Son, that is not thousands of dollars. We are post-pandemic. Just the wood. Anybody buy wood post-pandemic? Just the wood is over thousands of dollars. The staples. Not getting into the graphic artists, the design, and the printing of a multicolored background. We're not even there yet. I just want this young man to say, who's talking about, no, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, young man. We're not talking about thousands of dollars, and we're talking about just in wood alone. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. My name is Perfect of the Perfect Timing Podcast. I'm so happy that you guys were able to check me out today and check out more of this ICE, LA ICE protest coverage. Today we're talking about paid protesters, Crowds on Demand, earned media. Tap in. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the information I presented today. I'm looking for your comments. I need to know about whether or not you feel Adam, CEO of Crowds on Demand, contradicted himself. Is this a propaganda wing of the Democratic Party? You let me know in the comment section. My name is Perfect Time Pod. My name is Perfect Time Podcast. Top of the mid-morning OG. And we out.